Hi, all. This is Tim from Centani Life, and welcome to what I call Sharing Saturday. Uh, Besides being a full-time lieutenant paramedic for a fire department, uh, I'm also a personal trainer, health coach, and one of the other things I do on a volunteer basis is I do volunteer for an organization called Illinois Firefighter Peer Support. Uh, and really, the mission of our organization is to address behavioral health issues that affect first responders, firefighters, those in EMS, uh, and it's with the hope of getting people to open up and share their story. And that's what I want to talk about today is, sharing your story can make a difference. When I have to sit down with a peer, it just depends. They may have been either matched with me or they may have contacted me directly through uh, email. And they want to sit down and talk about something that maybe it's something that I've gone through, and I could talk about that I've had stress issues that I've had to deal with, went through therapy and things like that. Uh, and also, I went through the peer support system, sat down with somebody. It has made a world of a difference for me. And a lot of times, if somebody reaches out to you, it's because you resonate with them on your story that you've shared. And that's why it's very important that uh, you want to do that. So, what does this have to do with, personal training or being in the fitness industry? Well, as a as a trainer and health coach, I may come across a client that has eating disorders such as bulimia, anorexia, binge eating, uh, as well as they could face issues of depression. And these are things that could, what I like to call, derail their journey on towards wellness. And now, while I can't, as a personal trainer, while I cannot address those issues, I can refer them to somebody for something that's greater level than me, like a psychologist or some type of a therapist that would be able to address those issues. If they don't, especially if you're talking about depression or very highly under stress, such as a post-traumatic stress injury, that may be a barrier to them reaching their goals because if life throws you a curve, uh, that's where we have a tendency of what is called we could have what's called a lapse, which would be a temporary setback in your program. Let's say somebody's going really good with their weight training, with their cardiovascular. Maybe they're starting to progress towards wanting to run a 5K, and all of a sudden life throws them a curve, and that could be something that's financial. It could be having to become a caregiver for somebody, or they may become ill, or it could be behavioral health issues that all of a sudden they take a step backwards and now they stop altogether exercising. And sometimes that could last maybe a couple days or could last a week. uh, and then that would be known as a lapse, a temporary setback. But if we have a relapse, what happens is that you end up going back to where you were prior to coming in working with a fitness professional, or if you were just working on your own personal training goals, personal fitness goals. And that relapse, it could last longer than months or longer. And then there's a sense of level of frustration. Uh, One of the things that if this is something that you're struggling with right now, not only with trying to meet some fitness goals, but also just in life in general, uh, you know, I highly suggest that you find somebody to work with. There's a lot of counseling. There's a lot of group counseling type sessions they could go to, which would be, let's say, Overeaters Anonymous, or if somebody had alcohol issues, Alcoholics Anonymous, uh, uh, things for Gambling Anonymous, things like that. You want to try to regain or restore a sense of balance. That way, you will be able to move forward with whatever goals or wherever your journey's taking you in life. Uh, again, uh, it's something that I've personally gone through myself. And if you go over to my Facebook page, my business page, I talk about that a little bit more. So I do understand what it's like to be under stress or being in a high stress occupation or face all these issues that tend to make us take a step back, or we just completely stop with what we're doing in life and you struggle with these issues. Everybody brings some type of a journey, some type of a story with them to wherever their walk in life is, whatever occupation, whether you're a home health caregiver or you're a primary caregiver or you're stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, or you work in, I don't care what profession you work in, it doesn't have to be a first responder. You are going to bring some type of story with you that could be from the environment you grew up in or just your background or something that happened to you in a traumatic sense. When I sit down with a peer, when I do the peer support, it's so rewarding because there might be just that one little thing that they say that then I'm able to respond to that and strike a chord. And then that conversation's opens up a little more. You know, as the conversation evolves, I'm going to decide at that point, is it something that I could help them with, just like writing their own little wellness program that they can work with on their own, as well as me staying in contact with them for a handful of phone calls or personal meetings, or do we have to refer them higher up? Again, this is an experience that I bring with me. It is very rewarding when I see that somebody, and not always will I hear back from a peer, but every once in a while you do, and they say, you know what, you made a big difference for me. You were a beacon of hope for me. And that is something that, I wish for everybody. So on this Sharing Saturday, I want you to think about, if you have a story to tell, if you need help with regards to behavioral health issues, or even if it's financial, whatever it is, please find resources that you could share, because everybody brings something to the table with them. So with that, I wish you all the health and wellness, and take care on this Sharing Saturday. See you soon.